Submotion Orchestra started, basically myself and Dom Ruxpin had worked on a project previously that was quite a chaotic, weird kind of event at the Yorkminster Cathedral in York, which was like a live dubstep thing, but on quite a big scale. But didn't really work very well, but it kind of got us thinking about that there might be something, might be quite a lot of possibilities within doing some sort of live dubstep thing. At the time I was kind of playing a lot of jazz and quite contemporary kind of jazz music and stuff. And then on the other hand, a lot of drum and bass and dub and things, and kind of wanted to bring those two together in some way. So the kind of harmonies in jazz and the sort of bass music, I suppose, a kind of dance floor sensibility of something like dub.
Being in Leeds was really good, being in that area of Leeds, the kind of student area. There's lots of interesting new bands coming through, lots of experimental music. Loads of bands and producers have gone from being in that sort of postcode to then going and becoming like, you know, world famous instrumentalists and producers and whatever. I think it was John Peel who said that that postcode, LS6, which is the Leeds postcode where we were sort of based, was the most exciting postcode for new music when he was doing his stuff on radio.
I went to university in Leeds at the Leeds College of Music, and I studied the jazz degree for 3 years. And to be honest, we all are the musicians that we are today because of Leeds, really, because it has a very diverse music scene. There's loads of stuff going on like hip hop, jazz, lots of jazz, there's lots of like soul funk nights. Dubstep is now really big.
So me and Dom started working on some ideas and gradually began bringing in musicians that we wanted to work with.
I played with Tommy in other groups before he asked me to join the band. One in particular called IDST, If Destroyed Still True, which is like a folky, jazzy thing. So that's where we knew each other. And we used to do improvised jams at a place in Leeds called Hookers. A lot of the time without Ruby, so without the vocalist. And we would just improvise, so all of us have that jazz background. And I guess the trumpet at that point was a lot of the melody.
And we used to do it every Monday, and we'd just kind of set up and just jam. And people would come down, and we'd get paid in food, basically, food and drink. So it was just a jam, but that was what the band developed, learning how to work with each other and what works and what doesn't work and what the audience like and what we like as a band. So that was really important for the development.
I'm the producer, engineer, and I kind of write some songs as well, but generally what I write is my own personal productions under Ruxpin, which may then get reinterpreted for the band. But generally I will produce a full tune by myself, and then if we want to do that as the band, then that's cool, but I don't generally write songs. Tommy's a lot more of a songwriter than I am, so I kind of just stick to computers and making noises.
A lot of stuff is written on piano for the band. A lot of the material, Tommy, who writes the majority of the stuff, he composes on piano. So there's a lot of kind of piano riffs and piano sequences that create the tunes. The tunes I write for the band, of course, I compose those on piano as well. So, you know, the pianos are kind of pretty much the central instrument. Like, you know, say if you see us live, a lot of the tunes will start just me by myself playing something, and then everyone kind of piles in, you know.
The main idea of it really was to take in the elements of making dubstep and that production quality and transferring it live. So when you listen to it, like, it's creating that sonic sound but with a live bass. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the bass through different synth pedals basically, and just fitting it into the mix in terms of where it sits in the band basically. So Ruby's vocals and all the percussion all sits at the top sparkling, and then, you know, and then me and Tommy have got that dubstep element underneath. It's quite a fine line because the music is quite subtle to not go over the top, so you've got these weird little boundaries where you can go a bit mental, and then you've got to like strip it back and play quite chilled.
As the percussionist in Submotion, it's my job to complement the drum track that's already there. It's almost like you're the fifth arm or the fifth limb of the drummer. You know what I mean? So the drum track is there, and I just add that little flavour, that little bit more. Maybe it needs a tambourine, maybe it needs a conga part, you know. My musical heritage is mostly based in world music and jazz. I feed from African rhythms, Cuban rhythms, Brazilian rhythms. In fact, I play Brazilian rhythms a lot in this band. I find it adds a whole new level to the music.
We began jamming as a band. A lot of the initial ideas were improvised, so we just get together using kind of 140 as a template, and we would try ideas within that, and kind of anything worked. If it was at 140, we were trying to get as far away from dubstep, I suppose, as possible.
See, you give to me body and soul. I'm reading between the cracks in the wall.
So far, all our recordings, we've multi-tracked it. We've done bits where the rhythm section have played live, but basically it's very much a studio creation, which has downsides, I think, because you do miss a bit of that energy of live playing, because also the things, most of us have come from a live background. Although I'm sure probably for the next album we'll take a more live approach to it, because, you know, we love playing live, and I think also when you're dealing with this sort of music, it's rare for people to see that many people making it all 100% live. You know, we have a few samples and a few, you know, computer things, but there's nothing, you know, there's no backing track, there's no anything, so everything is done by us sort of on the spot, and I think that's pretty rare for people to see, and it comes across quite powerfully, I think, for a lot of people when they watch that, because of course, you know, when you're dealing with electronic music, it's rare to get just a live band.
It's basically, the bass goes into two separate synthesizers basically, and in dubstep production you will always have a sub underneath everything which sits at like 80 hertz, so everything will be underpinned with sub. So I've got a sub that's sitting at the bottom on everything basically, and then I've got another synth which I can automate, so I can assign any expression pedals to any part of the synth. So I could open the cut off, add reverb, all with an expression pedal basically, and run it through like some mood gear as well to get like analog sort of sounds.
There's a lot of banter that goes on in the band. We kind of they call me names and stuff, but I give it back to them. Unfortunately, having a girl in the band means that sometimes the focus is on the girl. I don't know. I was great because I've never been in a video before, a music video, so it's quite fun. I had Tommy and Fatty dancing behind the camera with me because I felt a little bit nervous because I had to dance at one point. So they were kind of helping me out with that.
I'm playing traditional percussion instruments, you know, congas, bongos, timbales, shakers, tambourines, but I'm also interested in finding new sounds. The world of percussion can open up this amazing treasure chest of new sounds. For instance, the door to the recording studio had this wonderful squeak. So we sampled me playing the door, you know, this squeak on the door. And that, to me, that's all part of my family of instruments, you know.
The new album's shaping up to be really good. I mean, we're sort of, we've taken on a lot of, from what we did the first time, we kind of went for it and just did a lot of different experimental things. And the stuff that worked for us, we're now, you know, trying to improve on, and for the second album, we're coming with a much more kind of like focused aim, I guess. Like, we know what it is that works, and we've been recording string sections, various brass and woodwind and all kinds of things, so it should be very interesting. None of the tracks sound the same.